Thanks very much. A really interesting talk so far. I'll talk you a little bit through our virtual campus and catalog, and then Carla, my colleague from Technical University of Munich, will jump in and tell a bit more about how we look at KPIs and monitoring and so on. So I'll get right into it. You've probably all seen these sort of slides before. I'm kind of conscious of the terms that we use now, but overall, basically, I think you can say the virtual campus aims to try and change how we think about mobility. That it's not just a semester mobility, but that there's other formats we can offer our students. But also that it's not a replacement for the semester mobility. It should be viewed as a supplement. It's just another option that we could give our students and then also our teachers. And in the end, then we like to try and focus on this idea of diversified learning opportunities so that you can access through the alliances and through the virtual campuses more than you could access at your own university. In terms of the way EuroTeQ went about it, well, so we set up a course catalog as the sort of flagship of our virtual campus. When I came on, it was in 2023. So my colleague Janina Van Hayes at Charm had already taken the catalog along to this sort of first stage of automation where we could display different course information from the different student information systems at each partner. So we could pull that information live from each system. And then since then, with the work of colleagues again from Ben Parker from Eindhoven and my own colleague here at Denmark at the Technical University of Denmark, Hannah Ostergaard, to really work on automating the enrollment of students so that students could then go and enroll in a course with a single click. It proves to be a few more than one click, but it's much more streamlined than it was before, so that to improve the student experience. The solution that we've developed then in collaboration with a group called SURF in the Netherlands. The solution we've created and we've also used in our lifelong learning catalog. So for professional learners, and we've tried as much as possible to integrate European technical standards, and hopefully then that our solution can also contribute to this as a way to integrate these different standards into a sort of a decentralized information sharing platform. At the moment, we're working on the automated grade transfer, and I think there's a whole different webinar on one thing will be to transfer the actual grade information, and another will be the conversion of that grade information. So I'll go quickly through a demo video. Again, Pete, you can probably let me know if you can see the video come into life here. Hopefully you can see it now. But so this is our platform. You choose the university you're at. So in this case, it's Ben. So he's choosing the Technical University of Eindhoven. On the left side, you have the filters that you can choose as a student, whether you want to pick certain universities or you want to pick certain teams. And then you can see the overall heading of the courses and their ECTS weights. Yeah, so you can play around with which topics that would be most interesting for you. Then once you click in on the course, you can see a lot more about the learning outcomes, who's going to be teaching it, when the course starts, different aspects of the course information, what format the course is taught in, yeah, and so on and so forth. So you get all the course information directly from the local SIS. You click register. You come onto this summary page where you provide your consent for transferring the information and a little bit about how it actually works, what the process is behind the clicks. We use My Academic ID here, which typically would use the student's own login to enroll themselves and identify themselves, and then they are essentially, from their point of view, enrolled in the course. Of course, behind the scenes, there's a few more checks that are going on, but most of it at this stage is automated. It really just depends on the university's own processes as to what level of automation there is behind the scenes. But from the student's perspective, they have, with a couple of clicks, access to partners' courses within the Alliance. Yeah, so that'll start again. So what are we looking at in terms of numbers and so on? we've seen kind of a gradual increase in the number of applications to the course catalog. The consistent trend that we also see, though, is the actual number of completions is way lower than what the applications would be. But in general, a steady increase. One of the things I know the 50% has been mentioned a couple of times is the focus on how are we going to get to that sort of scale. In our alliance, we've decided to look at the quality of the offerings. I think Frederick also mentioned this before. So the idea that the quality of the course will improve the student experience. And despite many various promotional campaigns on campus and so on, actually the biggest factor pushing growth is word of mouth. So if we can ensure that the students through high quality courses have a good experience, then hopefully they'll be more keen to tell other students about it. We also are looking into different formats that would encourage more institutional collaboration and on academic levels, such as like joint courses and stuff like this, to make more connections between the teachers, but also to provide some sort of incentive for offering the courses. Because at the moment, again, it's the teacher incentive that is a bit of a struggle. I mentioned the quality over quantity. There's also the type of courses that we're offering, like the subject area and so on. At the moment, of course, computer science, AI is the big topic that students want to take. But in the future, we're also going to have to look at, okay, well, what are the future skills that they're going to need for the job market and so on, and how can we incentivize teachers again within those areas to provide courses in those in this format. Yeah, so if we can continue to work on that with sort of trying to find the right topics, trying to highlight each partner's strengths within the alliance, and then also by keeping a space for niche courses that allows the student to find that specific topic that they need to add on to their studies. Yeah, Carla, I'm going to stop talking now, and I'll give it over to you. It's okay.
Thank you very much, Patrick.
Mute myself, and then I can
just continue with the slides that we prepared afterwards. In fact, when we started to discuss what we can achieve in terms of 15% mobility, but also in terms of increased diversified learning opportunities, we knew that we have to set up a whole system. We focused on virtual mobility because all our universities are already very international, and virtual mobility is for us a key opportunity to scale up. So what we did is not only for the course catalog, but also for the other work packages, we discussed in a kind of bottom-up approach all the goals and indicators that we would like to achieve. So the work packages as such, but also our operational unit, the Secretariat. We started to define metrics, what we can track, how we can track. So in a way to find a balance between what we really would like to find out and what is possible in terms of data that we can collect or that somebody is maybe not able to collect. We also follow a quite structured approach in terms of input, output, outcome, and impact. We definitely still see some bottlenecks here and there, and we are still working on it. The whole system is in a way also a tool to ensure quality. So we can see and do what works, what does not work. We can derive some conclusions from it and work on it in more specific task groups afterwards. And I would like to show you right now in how far we put this all together. We make all our data publicly available on the website Smart EuroTeQ EU/KPIs that you see on the top of this page. I would like to underline that for virtual mobility, because this is what we talk about currently, that we only count the students who really participate in the course catalog. So no other double degree programs, small programs aside of the course catalog are calculated. We only calculate those who register through this tool of automated enrollment. It also means that we do not count the home students. So if it's a hybrid course, the home student does not register because the tool only allows to select from which university you are, and then you choose a course from a different university. In the future, the numbers would change a little bit. At the beginning, we have calculated the nominated students because everything went through email correspondence, and now we have the automated enrollment, so we only have the registered student at once. In all our tools, we see which student went to which university. That helps also to see what is actually the input of smaller universities in terms of mobilities and number of courses that we bring into the whole system. It helps us also sometimes to put a little bit of pressure on our own universities to bring in more courses in the course catalog. The whole philosophy behind it, of course, we are mostly technical universities. We would like to offer our students more diversified learning opportunities. Technical developments are very, very quick. And if all our universities have to develop courses on an expertise that is maybe not on top of the current developments, that is maybe not in the sense of using correctly the capacities that we have. So if university, the DTU is better in wind energy courses, then why not offer our students also to go to these courses, or the other way around? So in a way, it's we think that students need these different portfolios, have more electives. And I think we are on a good way to make it happen. The figures currently that you see are from the last semester, so the current semester is not yet included. We include the data twice a semester, otherwise it's not possible. You can click through the different options that you see. So for virtual mobility, learning, office, and virtual mobility is the most important ones. We also display the physical mobility or challenge-based learning, our staff mobility and outreach activities. And then you have the different selection tools. And what we found important for the EU funding, of course, is also the funding period to see what has happened through in the first funding phase and what has happened in the second funding phase. Hopefully more funding phases afterwards. But in a way, it's a work in progress. We are still working on it. We will add several sections in a couple of weeks. We might delete some sections afterwards because not everything might be useful in the future. For the platform we use, it's simply a Power BI Excel-based tool that can be set up in a way by everybody capable to do these kind of Excel spreadsheets. We summarize the data that is behind in not too many Excel sheets, so try to make use of individual Excel sheets and then try to use the selection tools to select the data we need for certain activities. We added also on our way certain criteria. For example, we know the Commission is also it's important for them to distinguish between female and male participants, international students and EU students. So we tried to also make an effort here and give some insights into who is actually mobile in our course catalog. If you have further questions, I'm happy to answer them later on. You can always contact me also afterwards, or or Patrick, who is the lead of this work package. I hope you get some insights in what you are doing. Everything is online and accessible, so feel free to also browse a little bit on this website and on our monitoring tool.